Good morning, everyone. My name is Nikki Wilson. I am part of the DE&I Communications Committee. I currently am a compliance inspector with the third-party compliance department. So today we're going to talk about DE&I at ADOT. We're going to go over the employee engagement survey scores with the questions that pertain to DE&I. And then we're going to do some activities to help ADOT as a team grow more diverse and have more awareness of inclusion and equity. As I stated earlier, and everybody did have an emergency, so I do have Raul Macias helping me on running my presentation. Okay, Raul, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go over with you guys today is our DE&I webpage. Just give us a moment while it loads. All right, so here's our webpage. It does have our statement as well as our commitment on it. On the right-hand side, it does have the list of committees that anyone at ADOT is able to join. We do also have a calendar so you can stay current with our events. And if you scroll down to the bottom, it does have the red button where you can volunteer to be a part of our committee. And it is a Google form that you would just fill out and it will go to the Inclusion Council so you can be accepted. All right, next slide, please. All right, so here were some of the questions that were on the engagement survey. And we're just going to go over the 4 of them that had to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion at ADOT. So the first one was diverse ideas, identity, perspective, and cultures are valued in my workplace. We had a 77% positive, 17% neutral, and 6% negative. The next question is, my supervisor's manager values fairness in the workplace. We had an 80% positive, 13% neutral, and 7% negative. The third question is, my workplace demonstrates AIR. We had a 78% positive, 16% neutral, and 6% negative. And the last question is, my workplace makes me feel accepted and gives me a sense of belonging. We had a 77% positive, 16% neutral, and 7% negative. So this was the first year that these 4 questions appeared on our survey. And based on the positive scores, we did very well here at ADOT. The goal is for every year going forward to increase our positive. All right, if you can go to the next slide. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each of the 4 questions, and we are going to have some engagement, answer some questions, play an activity, and just enjoy the lunch and learn. So in your comments, there is going to be a link. And if everyone can click, not the website link, the one from Raul, it says www.menti.com. With this link, it's going to take you to Menti, and you're gonna answer a question. Question is, what does diversity mean to you? You will have 3 slots to place your answers, and it will show up on the screen. And then we're gonna go ahead and talk about some of the answers we get. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes or a minute or 2 to put in some answers. Okay, it looks like the results are slowing down a little bit. So you can keep entering answers, but we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the answers that have popped up. Just waiting for them to stop spinning so I can read them.
Excuse me, Nikki. Is the larger the word, the more matches it has, I guess.
Yes. So the larger the word, that had the most responses, the same responses. Okay. So let's see. So it looks like one of the biggest words is variety, differences, equality, acceptance, inclusion, experiences, working together. All right. So do I have someone who would like to talk about one of the answers that they put up here? This is a safe space.
Yeah, it's like we remember it's a safe space, but you're still at work. We'll just say that much, okay? So
Okay.
let's not let emotions or tempers get the best of us, but it's a safe place.
Yeah. Okay, I have Ellen Mitchell.
Well, diversity to me means the willingness to accept others' differences and to accept change. So those are the two that I chose, was acceptance for change and differences.
Thank you. I definitely agree. I feel like with diversity, everyone is different, and it's just the willingness to also want to learn about those differences and accept them as well. I have Linda Haynes.
I put in multicultural. And the reason I say multicultural is because we all come from different backgrounds, from different areas of the world, and we all bring with us different aspects of that. And it's learning how to get along and work as a cohesive teams together from multicultural backgrounds.
Thank you. And I have Jose Alcaron. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. You're muted.
All right, here we go. It's okay. Yeah, it's like allergies, Alarcon. That's the English way of saying that. Alarcon is the Spanish. Awesome. I'll quote one of my favorite authors, Stephen Covey. Strength lies in differences, not in similarities. And so, we've all been in a meeting where everybody's like, yes, yes. Everyone's saying yes and going with the flow. And that's groupthink. Then you run right into the group's together, but it runs right off the cliff, and there's no dissenting voice to say, hold a minute now, do we really want to jump off this cliff? What's down there? And so when it comes to diversity and the differences, when you have a group and you have so many different perspectives and different backgrounds and different lens on how you see the world. And if everyone puts that together, Stephen Covey calls it synergy. It's like the ideas just build on each other from different ways of thought. And so that's where strength is, and so diversity, equity, and inclusion is no different. So you want a strongest team, you want a diverse team.
Thank you.
And Nikki, I picked equality because it's more important that equality and also changing the current culture. We need to change the current status quo. And I believe that that's where we're moving.
Thank you. I agree with both. And Jose, that was a very great quote. That's so true, that with the differences lies our strength. And that's the only way we can move forward, is building on those and understanding it. Anyone else would like to talk about what diversity means to them before we move to the next question? All right. So the next question plays into what was the next question on the survey. What does fairness in the workplace mean to you? At the top of your screens, it should say presenter move to a different slide, and it gives you the opportunity to enter in 3 more answers that we can talk about. Okay, it looks like the spinning is starting to slow down. So this one is very important. This one is very important to me because I feel like everyone wants to come to work and feel like we are all treated in a respectful way, and that when we do our job, it's not, we are recognized based on the merit of our job and not based on, I saw someone put like favoritism and things of that nature. So I felt like this was a very important question that was on the survey and that we did very well at ADOT. I can say that I do feel that for me personally, that it does happen in my department. And I do see some coming in on the side in the comments, so I will look at those as well. But I do want to see, does anyone want to talk about their answer? Raul?
I selected respect. If you want respect, then I feel that I should be respected as well.
Yes, correct. And then on the comments, Lisa Pounds?
Yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me. One
Yes.
thing that I think comes out of all this, and I keep using the same words in each one. One of them I make sure is empowerment, because I feel like all these questions you're asking, it's going to be, everybody wants to feel empowered in their jobs, to be creative and to be have equal opportunity, and that empowers everybody to be just the best people that we can be. So I feel like that word is so important in this whole conversation. And I always put that in. If you ask me 3 words, empowerment's going to be in there. My 2 cents.
Thank you. And that's so true. Empowerment is a big one. Jose?
Lisa, that's so great that you bring up empowerment, because I think what that does is it mitigates our automated processes that happen in all of our brains. A crazy stat 90% of our decisions are automated, and they're based on biases. There's too much information for our brain to make deliberate choices. So 9 out of 10 of those choices are just automated based on, our beliefs, our experiences. And so that's why it has to be mitigated if it's largely automated. So what does that mean with fairness? We all have biases based on what we've seen. There's this test called it's like IIT or something. It tests like your bias right away, and we all have these biases on based on what we've seen in the movies growing up, what we saw on TV shows, what we see in the news. And so that has to be mitigated, because if we just if we try not to mitigate it, then we're going to make decisions or perceptions that are not fair, and so, when it comes to fairness, we have to make a concerted, deliberate effort to mitigate those stereotypes, those biases that our brain does automatically.
Yes, the test you're referring to is the IAT test, the implicit association test. Yes, so it does check that, and that's true. Every person has a bias, some of them we're aware of, some of them we're not aware of. But just like Jose said, our brain is aware of everything, and so it makes those selections for us. And when it comes to fairness in the workplace, we have to be open to understanding that we do have these biases, and we have to work towards changing it and not just going on face value on certain things. Does anyone else like to speak on what they put?
Thank you. I chose the favoritism, because I feel that you may want to take others' opinions that you rely on, or their suggestions that you rely on, but in fairness, allow everyone to at least give an opinion, because it also incorporates the diversity in it. Let everyone speak about what they feel something is going on. Don't just pick out individuals that you like, that's your go-to person. Be fair to others to listen to what they have to say.
Yes, that non-favoritism also goes with the transparency, just being transparent and letting everyone know what's happening as well. Christine Tran.
I agree with Christine. I'm Christine too. So that really more like the point is like management should listen to our staff opinion, and it's kind of like all the voice being heard. That's very important to feel fairness in the workplace, mean to me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do I have any more hands? No, I don't. Okay. So now we're good. I heard a ding, but I'm not sure. I think it was a comment in the chat.
Jose,
So I'm gonna stop sharing. We're gonna go ahead and pin back Raul's presentation. And it should be the big screen. And if you can go to the next 2 slides, Raul. And the next one. One more. Okay. So now someone can raise their hand and tell me, what does AIR stand for at ADOT? Outcome. Okay. Christy Hood.
Accountability, integrity, and respect.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll it. All right. So now this one, we're going to put in the chat and raise our hands. If you can tell me how you demonstrate AIR on a daily basis.
By being accountable for my actions, what I contribute. So to me, I'm accountable for what Christine provides to the plate and making sure that I'm thorough when I'm doing something for the job.
Perfect. Thank you. And can everyone see on the big screen where it says AIR and how do you demonstrate AIR?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your answer, Christine. Would anyone else like to talk about how they demonstrate AIR? It's like Ellen Mitchell says, be accountable for your actions, take responsibility for what you do, and respect everyone. Jose? You're muted.
All right, here we go. Some of it's very hard to do. I think having integrity means, if you make a big mistake, you own up to it. Now that's very easy to say. It's all dependent on the environment you're in. If you're in a psychologically safe environment, then for sure, you say, hey, I goofed up, you guys. So sorry, hey, no, don't worry about it. Let's fix it as a team. But if you're not, if you're in an environment where you're going to be admonished severely for a mistake, then you're probably not going to be, as reticent to admit to it. And so, the integrity piece and also the accountability piece is also very contingent on the environment that you're in. As far as respect, I think that's the bottom line for everything. And it's, no matter what level you're at or what level you're talking to someone at, there should always be this immense amount of respect for the other person just as a human. And you'll be shocked, because, you're coming in with biases thinking, oh yeah, but, we all deserve that respect. I heard someone say, you got to earn respect. I don't agree. I think respect should be given. And, again, you'll be shocked at the amazing, things that human ingenuity can have. Like Lisa said, when people are empowered, when they're in a safe space, what they can contribute. So, respect is huge.
I definitely agree. In our department, I'm pretty sure through all of ADOT, one thing we definitely say is no judgment, no blame. And I think that plays a big part into AIR and just having that safe space to be able to talk about it and being able to own up to your mistakes without the retribution of something coming down if you understand what is happening at the time. And I did see a hand. I didn't see the name. I believe it was Mary, but then you put it down. So I'm not sure if you don't want to talk anymore, and that's okay. I just didn't want you to think I didn't see your hand go up. Okay. All right. So we're going to go.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's Mary.
hi.
Sorry about that.
No, hi.
No, I was just listening to Jose, and I was totally agreeing, even with Christine too, as well, that I believe that's true, that if we have to own up to ourselves, if we make a mistake, take responsibility, but also as well with others that you work with, that taking ownership of your mistakes and maybe even your response to one another, your attitudes, And I've learned that a lot, that you can't always just blame someone else. You're only responsible for yourself, how you respond to others, But I just wanted to say that thank you, Jose and Christine, because that was really good. And I totally agree with both of them. So thank you. That's all.
My pleasure. Thank you. All right. And to the next slide, please. So the next question was on acceptance and sense of belonging. If you can hit the slide one more time. So 56%. Does anyone have any idea what the 56% has to deal with when it comes to acceptance and belonging? It's okay, I had to do my research too. So from Better Health, they explained that if an employees with 56% more sense of belonging and acceptance in the workplace will deliver better quality of work on a daily basis. So what I wanted to do to necessarily bring awareness to certain activities throughout ADOT, as well as different ways of thinking and different things. We wanted to play an activity. Just
I'll be right with you, Wayne.
I'm sorry. All right. So Raul, if you can go to the next slide. We're going to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And so this definitely needs everyone participation. It's going to be fun. It's going to be educational. Still lunch and learn. So we're going to learn and enjoy yourself. Raul, if you can hit the next slide. So for $100, what is celebrated in the month of September? Jessica? Oh, two Jessicas. So Jessica Pena or Jessica Sesma? You both raised your hands.
I want to say it's D, Nikki.
B is in Bravo or D is in Delta?
D is in Delta.
Okay. So I do have a lot of D coming through. So Raul, if you can show the answer. The answer is D. It is Hispanic Heritage Month in the month of September. And it looks like some people's birthdays. That wasn't an answer, but happy early birthday. All right, so far, everybody, we have $100. Then for $500, what is celebrated in the month of May? Yungo Sayamaga, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name.
It's Ungyo Sugiyama. Just call me Lynn.
Okay, I'm
This is
sorry.
B.
B is in Bravo. Okay, and a lot of people in the chat are agreeing with you with B. Oh, that is correct. Asian Pacific American Month. Sorry. All right. Next question is worth $1,000. What is celebrated in the month of February? Christine? Jackie Holland.
D, Black History Month.
All right, and it looks like a lot of people agree with you in the chat as well. So let's see if the answer is C. It is. All right, so we're going to pause the game for a second, and I want some volunteers. Do you feel like in your department that these celebratory things were talked about during these months? I see a no. Not most of them, hard no. Okay, do you believe that this is something that we as ADOT should pay more attention to when we are talking, especially like in huddles? And I did see someone post that it is posted on their Jam board.
And Nikki, you have a lot of yes too. So that's good.
Yes,
And a few no's too.
very important. I do agree. I do feel like it would be nice to discuss it. We have monthly, in some departments, there are monthly assemblies, huddles with the whole group, and it would be important to talk about it, with the group as a whole. And so I'm seeing some more comments come through. I did see that Ellen said it would be a fine line. Do you want to, I think she's typing again. Or if you want to talk about it, Ellen Mitchell, you said it was a fine line.
I just think that it's one of those subjects where you have to be very careful because of some people may get offended. So it's one of those that is a touchy subject, kind of like politics and religion and stuff. Those are touchy subjects. And so different nationalities, races, and stuff like that also falls in those groups. And so it's very, you have to be careful what's said and how it's said and when it's said. Yeah, Javier.
I totally agree with Ellen. There's a fine line and between celebrating and maybe isolating, and it's kind of hard to address every group. So if there's one every month and we mention one every month, you're still going to leave somebody out. So and that's just an ADOT. Someone in ADOT is going to be left out. Even though we can say Merry Christmas, and if we went through every religious holiday, I still don't think it would be enough. There would still be someone with offended, hurt feelings. So it's like I said, it's a very fine line. It could go either way. So sometimes it's best not to walk that.
Okay, and then Christine, do you see your
Thank
hand?
you. I feel honestly that it's okay to mention other cultures and celebrating them. You have to look at the diversity in your department. See who is a part of your department. If you see, and I'm just going to be very frank and not to hurt anyone's feelings, but if you see that this particular ethnic group or a culture or however you want to name it is not in that group, then no, we don't really need to really bring it up. But at the same time, in our huddles, we bring up like, this is the ice cream day or this is coffee day. So how are you not going to bring up if you have a colleague that's from another culture? Like I'm going to say this, I have an Indian daughter-in-law. I don't know all of the holidays because I have to understand Hindu and all of that different things. However, at least acknowledging that to a coworker in your department is so gratifying to them. I've seen it happen because we have it in our department. And it's not disrespecting, it's about how you go about it.
I'd like to add one thing that, even in the world out there, that's great. We can do that without too much repercussion. But since we are a state agency, we are regulated with more than average rules on our day-to-day operations. We have to be more mindful and aware of everybody that's in the state. Or just for example, just ADOT. We have to be aware of everybody who's at ADOT. And once again, that fine line of falling off or going astray. Like Alan says again, we're held to higher standards than we are in the outside world or non-ADOT world.
And then Raul, and I'm going to try to keep up with the chat as well. I apologize.
I disagree, and I like what Jose said in the chat. Celebrating different groups within our society is celebrating humanity in all of our different variations. And it's a national, some of these are national holidays, and it's no harm in celebrating a national holiday. It does not require permission because it's a national holiday. And we, in our group, we celebrate all, like Christina said, we recognize everyone. We do not put no one, we do not leave anyone down. And I'm glad, and being in state service in different agencies, I'm glad to see that ADOT is willing to accept change in diversity, equality, equity, and inclusion. I may have said that wrong, but that's just my view, and I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Raul.
Thank you. And I have another hand. Sorry, the hands are coming up. I want to call on everybody. Eric Bush.
Right. So for me, I think what we're trying to do here is uplift everyone, and all of our leaders should be able to uplift. But if we're going to, recognize Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, I think those are very positive things, because the whole point of DE&I is to celebrate and recognize that we are a diverse group of professionals who are able to work together in spite of our various backgrounds. I think it's really important that we recognize this is about uplifting, not dragging someone down because they are a cisgendered, straight, white male, or whatever it is. We want to uplift everyone. So everyone should get recognition, but these particular months are important, and we should be able to recognize that the diversity is what makes state service so special.
That is a great point. Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm so agree with you. Next one would be Anya. I don't want to say your name wrong.
Okay. You could call me Lynn. And I apologize
Lynn,
that
sorry.
Thank you.
I had to use my given name, which is
No, I'm dealing with the same situation. So everybody call me Annie, and I'm nervous. So I'm with you.
So I think, as people have said, I think recognition is important. But as far as for me, being an Asian American, it's a very broad topic. And for me, being a Japanese American, my experience or my family's experience is different than say a person who's Chinese American or Vietnamese American. So to recognize those differences, I think, are important. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you.
To celebrate those differences is important. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Lucas Murray in the chat put, for these celebrations, what kind of activities do you do? Do you simply acknowledge each event during your huddles, or do you try to do more? So with Christine, she stated our department sent out a survey for each team member asking if they would like to acknowledge. I can say what certain departments do as well, and other people can chime in. There is the acknowledgement, and for example, on certain months, such as Black History Month, such as Women's History Month, you bring in important figures that pertain to that month, and you can talk about their accomplishments, and then you have other employees join in and ask how they would like to celebrate, what they want to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big party in sense. Sometimes the acknowledgement and just talking about it is a great way to bring in the information and knowledge to everyone.
Yeah. And Nikki, I also want to, I don't know, you guys can read it, Alma Lozano comment. What's the difference when you have someone that doesn't celebrate birthdays because of their religion, yet we always celebrate birthdays with our workplace. Is that any difference? The acknowledging monthly and Nick City's recognition and celebration? So I'm with you, Alma, and I feel the same thing. So everything here is about respect to each other, and be diverse. And because we are all unique in a sense, that's what is ADOT. It's a unique group of people working with one goal, with air.
Yeah, I agree that we might not celebrate that person's birthday if that's their wish. To us, is an acknowledgement. You do wish them a happy birthday. So if we offend anyone, obviously, you know what I mean? We don't intend to, but it's just the acknowledgement. You bring it up and you move forward.
And that's a great point. And then I have Eric Bush and then Shannon.
So with birthdays and other things like that, it's also about us being communicative about what we as a person want from our leadership and our management. If you don't want to have your birthday acknowledged, you can clearly communicate that with your manager, and there are ways to avoid that. And you don't have to be part of, an uncomfortable situation. And that's part of what I think DE&I really speaks to, is it's also about communicating and being open and willing to have these conversations. So I think that that's how we can get to a point where we understand each other. And, maybe there's not a giant public announcement that, hey, it's Jane Doe's birthday, but, very privately, if we have a good relationship with them, we can just say, hey, it's your special day, or anything like that, or just not remark at all. And those are the things that help us build DE&I, is that communication factor.
I 100% agree. Communication is everything. We have to be able to have those open lines of communication, to be able to have these conversations, to know whether should we celebrate certain things in certain months? Do we acknowledge this person's birthday? If they want to, if they don't, we have to respect that person's wish. But we would never know what their wishes are as a group if we're not able to have these open conversations to learn about that there are different wishes for certain people. Not everybody wants to celebrate their birthday. Not everybody celebrates everything. And that's where the communication comes into play. So I 100% agree.
We have
Linda. And yes. Linda Haynes.
The unit I'm with, we send out an acknowledgement. We have a team that is a celebration team. And we send out an acknowledgement, and we ask them to acknowledge back how they would like to be acknowledged, or if they don't want to be acknowledged at all. And we respect that. And that's how we do it. Just makes it easier for everyone across the board, so no one feels awkward or gets something that they really don't want.
Exactly. Thank you. All right. I will say I appreciate the open lines of communication that we've had discussing this. I mean, there are more questions, so we are going to go forward, but this was great. And this is what we need to have on a daily basis within your departments, within your small teams. And then I see that currently ADOT safety calendar recognizes cultural days. So that is a calendar that does go out to all of ADOT, and just being able to have the conversations is what's important. And Nervies for Annie.
I forgot to mention that Jose Alarcon, he also put a comment. Yes, history is so important to who we are. We should celebrate our culture for every corner of our planet. Well said, Jose, thank you.
And I apologize also if I missed any comments. They were coming in fast, so I had multiple people looking at that for me, so thank you. All right, Raul, if you want to go to the next slide. Okay. Because I'm trying to make you guys millionaires, we jumped a couple 100,000. What is celebrated in the month of March?
We have A, B, A. We have a lot of A's.
All right, so let's see if the answer is A. It is Women's History Month. All right, you guys, so we're on to our last two questions. And at the end, I hope to make us millionaires in the game. What is August 21st?
A, we have A. So far we have a lot of A's, Nikki.
Okay.
Oh, Shannon, she has no idea. Me either, Shannon, don't worry. I found out.
All right.
That's why
Let's
we're
see.
here, for learn from each other.
Let's see if the answer is A. It is Senior Citizen Day. So I will be honest, I had to do a lot of research to find what things are celebrated, and I did not know this day existed. But I thought it was interesting to know that there is a certain day for this, and now we should know. We do, while everything may not have a month, most things have a day that we can talk about. All right, are you guys ready for your $1 million question?
I am.
Yes.
What is July 7th?
I have C, B, C, B. Somebody say a good one. B. It's in between C and B. Oh, I have D now.
Okay,
B.
let's see what the answer is. It is B, Global Forgiveness Day. It is also known as World or National Forgiveness Day, which again, didn't know. I know a lot of people did say C for stress awareness. While that is not July 7th, stress awareness is celebrated in the month of April. So that's something I know. Work-life balance, something we all have, and we need April as well.
You know that I learned something new too, Nikki, because look like it, Faye and Samantha mentioned that it's also a World Chocolate Day.
Oh.
So maybe you can give a chocolate when you want to forgive somebody.
So maybe this is something we should push to our leaderships that on July 7th, we would like chocolate. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I did see that Eric Bush said that is a day that needs more recognition. Global Forgiveness Day would be nice. Yes. And that is a reason why I did put it into our activity, just because this sometimes can be controversial talking. And in the beginning, we did talk about it being a safe space. We just have to sometimes forgive and understand that not everything is malice, and take it as a learning opportunity. So yes, Global Forgiveness Day is July 7th. All right. Oh, congratulations, you guys. You won $1 million. I don't have the money to give you, but we learned $1 million in learning.
Knowledge is power.
That is true.
That is so true.
I'll send you my account number. Don't send it to me.
I will give you out Nikki's phone number so she can give out the money, guys.
No. All right.
Sell it.
Obviously, the check is in the mail. Thank you for taking care of it, Javier. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That was awesome.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for us?
Good topic.
Thank you.
Nikki, you need to get a second job.
You did awesome, Nikki.
Thank you.
Well, everybody.
So everybody just remember that there's a survey after, and on the survey there's a space for additional comments. You could type in whatever you were thinking, or if you have some time to think about it, you could feel free to type it out there. The survey results will be given to the presenters and will be reviewed. But once again, if you have any follow-up ideas or questions, suggestions, either address me in the survey or send me an email directly. There's no other questions or comments. I'd like to thank Nikki and Nervous for joining us this week, and hope to see you again soon.